first down. They hand off to Marlon Mack. Huge hole, 50-yard line. He's at the 40, still going near sideline. He's at the 10. He's at the 5, and he will score. Touchdown, Marlon Mack. Touchdown, INDY. And again, it's picked up. It's Darius Leonard. Leonard with his second INT, and he's streaking down the near sideline. He's at the 40. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's gonna go. A pick six for the Maniac.
Horseshoe is back, baby. The horseshoe is back.
What is going on, Colts Nation? Xzavier Caudill here, and today we're going to be going over how the Colts beat the Texans. Now, in this game, the Colts played really well offensively. Defensively, not as well as I wanted them to, but they made big plays when it mattered, and I'll show you that as well. Also, there's a few things that went wrong that I kind of predicted. I said, if these things happen, then this will happen, and that was if Deshaun Watson gets out of the pocket, he's going to eat us alive. And I got some examples of that. Then offensively, the normal stuff that comes back and bites us in the butt. That also happened as well, and I'll show you that at the end of the film, or at the end of the analysis. And the way I got the setup is, first I'm going to show you all the offensive plays. I'm going to break them down. Then I'm going to show you the big plays the defense have made. I'll break them down. And then the last, I'll show you what I was just talking about in what was going wrong offensively and defensively. That last section I only got about 6 plays total, so 3 on each side. Normal stuff, like I said, stuff that happens pretty much every game. We see it, at least one example of it. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get into this film here. First play I got for you guys is in one of my favorite formations. That's trips right, tight end left. First thing we're going to do, we're going to bring Pascal in motion. That does 2 things. He sees that single high safety, Rivers does, and purposely motions him. And this corner is going to follow Pascal. So that tells him, again, 2 things. That's going to be, 1, this is man coverage. 2, this route is going to work. Rivers likes his matchup with Pascal on this corner. He thinks, this isn't a good man coverage secondary. But whenever he sees this, he knows Pascal is going to win this route, and that's what he does. He runs a little 10 and in. It's wide open for a big game. So the next play I'm going to show you is going to be a run play. Now this was, yet again, another nice run. He had a bunch of nice runs in this game, just a plethora of them from Hines and Taylor. We were running the ball with ease, which was expected because their run defense just isn't very good. Even when they were stacking the box, they had all these guys in here, we were still running the ball fairly well. And the reason is just because of matchups. You're going to see Doyle kick out J.J. Watt. J.J. Watt's going to kind of take himself out of this play, but Doyle still comes across. He's responsible for blocking Watt, which is probably the biggest block on the play. And then the rest of the time, these 3 guys right here on our offensive line completely wash these 3 guys right here up to the second level. I mean, just absolutely disrupted this defense and gives Taylor every opportunity to get a big run right here. So on this play, I wasn't particularly enthused with everyone else other than Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor showed me a lot on this play, and that is his vision's really improved, like we've seen the last couple weeks. People are starting to catch on to that, but this is a good example of it. And right here, he's going to be very selective about the gap he takes. He's going to take this handoff, and he's going to see a couple open up. One being right here, one's going to be here, and then the last one over here. But he's selective. Like I said, he fakes there, comes back to the outside, takes this one-on-one matchup with this D-back, lowers his shoulder, trucks him, and carries him into the end zone for a touchdown. That was awesome. So again, we're going to see gun bunch. Now on this play, you're going to see 41 coming out here to guard Jonathan Taylor. And Rivers puts him out here on purpose. He's going to bring him back into the pocket right here. He was just doing this to check and see if it's man coverage. And it is. These 41 rotates back. And so now he's just looking for a favorable matchup. The matchup he likes is going to be Zach Pascal one-on-one with 23. Pascal's just going to run a fade route. Rivers is going to throw a really good ball up there. It's going to allow Zach Pascal to adjust to it and bring this down for a good 20-plus yard gain. Like I said, he wanted this play. He wanted this matchup. Once he sees it, he just lets it fly. Pascal does a really good job, like I said, of adjusting and making this catch. Now we just saw Pascal bring down a really nice catch. This is the play right after. We're going to go right back to him. Rivers is going to see that single high safety. He's going to see all this press coverage. He knows it's man. They're telling him it's man. And he's going to throw it right to Pascal, who's going to run this post route. Now what Pascal's going to do, though, that is really impressive, he's going to absolutely put a fantastic move onto this defensive back here. He's going to freeze him in his tracks with a in-out-in fake, leave him in the dust, and be wide open for a good catch for a touchdown. Yeah, that was fantastic. That move he puts on this guy right here, I'll slow it down for you, as you, like I said, in, out, in. Leaves him completely frozen. Rivers throws it right where it needs to be to get an easy touchdown. It's going to put us up by 2 scores. So now we're going to be running the ball again. Like I said, we ran the ball with ease this entire game. Anytime we wanted to run the ball on any down, we could. I was really impressed with that. Kind of getting back to that 2019 Colts look. We're just dominating up front. And it starts with our interior 3. And right here, you're going to see Ryan Kelly, Lewinsky just absolutely eat this guy alive, work all the way to this linebacker, and just disrupt 41 Zach Cunningham, who is one of the best tacklers in the league and one of the better linebackers now. Just completely disrupt him and give Jonathan Taylor a chance to get a big game. Right there. And that's good patience there from Jonathan Taylor as well. As you can see, he sets Cunningham up initially looking like he's going to come to the inside. Once Cunningham guesses here, he goes back. So that's really good job by Taylor. That's a really good move he put on Cunningham. He's starting to read blockers well, and right there's a good example of it. So on this play, we're in a pretty obvious running formation. You see all these guys on the line. You see all these guys stacked down. This is going to be an easy completion between Phillip Rivers and T.Y. Hilton. Now, this is T.Y. Hilton versus Hargraves. Hargraves is one of the worst graded corners in this league, and T.Y. Hilton likes them odds. Or Phillip Rivers liked the odds of T.Y. Hilton making this catch one-on-one. That's what he's going to do. We're going to open up, fake play action. T.Y. Hilton's going to run a nice route, and he's going to come back to this ball. Now, to be fair to Hargraves right here, he played this pretty well. He didn't necessarily have to spin here, but he did just in case T.Y. was running deep route. And that's something smart route runners are going to do. As you can see, once T.Y. sees him starting to turn his hips, he goes to the outside. He waits for him to turn his hips to start thinking he's going to run deep, and once he does, he's going to cut to that outside and give himself all kinds of separations. That's what savvy route runners do. They're going to play off body cues just like good defensive linemen, just like good offensive linemen. That's pretty much what every good player in this league does. They read body cues, and right there, T.Y. did a good job of reading his and getting a big catch for a first down. So now we're at the start of the third quarter, or near the start, and we've started a drive going. We're getting almost to midfield here. We've hit a 3rd and 1. So 3rd and 1, what do? We go to our workhorse, Jonathan Taylor. He's been having a great day so far. We're going to give him an opportunity on 3rd and 1 to get this first down, and it works. We throw a pitch to him. He does a good job of being patient, making a man miss, and getting 8 yards for this first down. Yeah, just good physical run there from Taylor. So the same drive of the play I just showed you, it now worked herself down to the 20. We're seeing another 3rd and short situation. What do? We go back to Taylor. Taylor was, yet again, eating. I don't blame Reich for riding the hot hand because he was doing a great job. And right here, if you want to watch somebody block, watch the guy that I really love. I talk about him almost every video. He's always somewhere in the game making a big play. And right here, he's going to do it with his blocking ability. It's Jack Doyle. We're going to ask Jack Doyle to one-on-one block J.J. Watt. He's going to do that and put J.J. Watt on the ground and open up space for Jonathan Taylor to get 3 yards and get this first down. Let's see it. Boom, hits J.J. Watt. Put him right on the ground. That's an excellent block. Exactly what you want to see from Doyle. If that doesn't prove to you how physical Doyle is as a run blocker, I put him at number 2 in the league for run blocking tight ends. Now Boyle from the Ravens, he might have something to say about that, but I disagree. I think George Kittle's 1, I think Doyle's 2, and I think Boyle is 3. So now we're moving on. This is going to be a play that ends up setting up a field goal. This is going to be the end of the third quarter. These 2 plays I'm about to show you get this in field goal range, and then the rest of the drive stalls out. I'm pretty sure that's the Jacoby Brissett drive where he comes in, he's not loose, he just throws one and misses, and then the rest of the drive stalls out. But right here, Rivers is going to be, surveying the field. What's he going to do? He's going to bring Doyle in motion. Motions Doyle over. Doesn't see anyone's really sticking with him, so that tells him this is his own. He's going to run play action on this pass. Boom. Once they play action, everyone bit, as you can see. I mean, everyone's up here. This guy right here, he does a good job of being in coverage, but the guy that matters the most is Zach Cunningham, who would be in this zone to stop this pass to Pascal, is way upfield. And that's going to be an issue because Pascal's going to run this crossing route, be wide open for a 24-yard gain. Again, Zach Cunningham does a really good job of getting back and making this tackle. But, the initial step, the initial commit there is what really killed him on this play. So now we're at the end of the third, and this is that play I was talking about that's going to set us up for a field goal. Right here, we're going to see what pretty much every Colts fan I know or I see on Twitter really hates, and it's just Nyheim Hines up the middle. Now, analytically, this is a good play, and the reason is because teams just really don't care about Nyheim Hines running up the middle. They don't expect it. Right here, as you can tell, not really set up for it. But we're going to see excellent blocking here. We're going to see Quentin Nelson do what Quentin Nelson does and just absolutely move 98 out of this hole. Costanzo's going to fill and pick up Cunningham. Hines going to bust this one up the middle for about 11 or 12 yards here. Yeah, you can just, you could drive a Mack truck through that hole, man. And the reason, like I said, it works is because it's unexpected. You got to catch them in certain formations, but analytically, it's one of our better running plays on the season, believe it or not. This play works relatively more than a good portion of our running plays, which was surprising to see. I didn't expect that when I looked at the analytics, but it's cool to see that. It's cool to see that data. And it's even cooler to see it work in game because I feel like I don't see it work that often. Now we're getting on to the fourth quarter, and we're going to keep going to Taylor. We're going to keep pounding that rock. It's something I love to see down the stretch, especially going into the playoffs. If you want to win a playoff game with this Colts team, you have to value the ball. You have to control the possession of the ball. And right here, we're just going to see what I was talking about earlier. When you start with power running, you start with your interior 3 offensive linemen. All 3 of these guys do a great job on this play. As you can see, good block out, good double team. Now right here, this is a big thing. If I could pause the play. Doyle makes a good block here. That's a good job from him. But if Doyle didn't make this block and if this guy didn't flow down as far, this gap's going to be open. And as you can see, Kelly Nelson have both their eyes on Cunningham. So if Cunningham flows over the top, Kelly takes over. Nelson takes over, or Kelly takes over Cunningham. Nelson takes over this D tackle. But if he flows through backside and Doyle's not here, Nelson takes over, then Kelly gets, or Nelson gets Cunningham, and then Kelly takes over this defensive tackle. So either way, this play is completely blocked. Pittman has a good block. Lewinsky has a good block. And this one busts right up the middle for a big gain. So now we're going to another, I can't remember if this is a 3rd and short or 4th and short, but this is another short yardage situation. As you can see, we bring Brissett in. And we're trying to get a first down here. And what do? We go with the sneak. Of course, you've seen how our interior 3 have played this game. I just showed you examples. They've been playing great. We're just going to ride the hot hand yet again. But the issue with their defense here, they're just going to let 93 crash into Nelson's legs. Nelson's going to fall over him, and Brissett's just going to fall on Nelson's back and get the first down easily. Watch. That's a little faster. I'll slow it down. But still, yeah, as you can see, he falls there, and this is just an easy first down. If you want to stop a quarterback sneak, you have to get penetration on the inside here. And diving at a guard's legs just won't do that for you. So now we're moving on to the last play I have for you guys on offense. This is that big shot to T.Y. Hilton. They ended up getting our last touchdown, put us up by 7, gave us that comfortable lead. Right here, we're just going to see an absolute dime by Phillip Rivers. But the thing I like about the most is Phillip Rivers kind of recognizes what's going on here. This Mike linebacker's pushed up here. He thinks it may be a blitz. He thinks not, but he kind of, in his gut, knows this isn't going to be a blitz. And once this play snaps, once the snap happens, he sees these guys drop back. He sees this. He's reading this guy right here. He's looking there right now, and he sees him dropping back to play coverage. He knows this is cover 2. So where's his eyes go immediately? Boom, to T.Y. Hilton, who he knows is going to be guarded by a Mike linebacker. When you put a middle linebacker on a guy like T.Y. Hilton, who's got that 4.3, 4.4 speed, you're in for you got a lot of issues because T.Y. Hilton's going to burn him every time. So now we're going to move on to the defensive big plays. Now, the thing about this game, whenever I watched it, I feel like I keep underselling Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson is the sole reason they were even remotely in this game twice. The sole reason, there's no other reason. There wasn't anyone making plays. It was just Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson doing his thing. Also, the interim head coach for the Texans did make some pretty good adjustments defensively. So he did a relatively good job. But still, yeah. Just Deshaun Watson really carries this offense completely. It's really him versus the world. Brandon Cooks, sometimes he'll show up, sometimes he won't. But when he plays against good secondaries, usually he's not really doing much. Right here, first play I'm going to show you is going to be at the 12:30 mark in the first quarter. As you can see, they're almost to they're past the 40. They're almost to the midfield mark. And they've been deacon and dunking. They've got a couple first downs already. And now they're looking to put a good drive together. It's starting to look like they're going to. But what happens? They get to 3rd and 2. And then DeForest Buckner shows up and gets a huge sack here that nullifies this drive. And that's the big thing that happened for the Colts time and time again this game. They would start a drive, they would get a drive going, and then they get 3rd and short, and some defensive lineman for the Colts would show up and make a big play and would just stall these drives out completely. They're at midfield, they've already been driving, but they get to another 3rd and short. What do they do on this 3rd and short? They get sacked again by DeForest Buckner, lined up here. DeForest Buckner makes another visit to Watson, stalls out another good drive, or another prominent looking drive for the Texans. That's really, like I said, what it came down to. The Texans would move the ball efficiently. We would just make the big play when it mattered. And right here, end up getting the fumble sack that sets up a touchdown. So now it's near the start of the second quarter, 13-10 mark. It's 2nd and 10. They're starting to drive the ball yet again. They're back at midfield already. What happens? Well, this time we're going to bring a blitz. They only got 5 to block. Autry's going to get free released. Autry comes right at Watson. Watson sees the pressure and he tries to flow through a gap. I'll show you right here. He's going to try to get through this gap. But Kamoko Toure does a good job against Laramie Tunsil, pushes him upfield. And then once Watson, he's kind of baiting this. Once Watson runs through this gap, he's going to get right off Tunsil and he's going to make this sack right here. Just an excellent job there from our defensive line, creating pressure and forcing Watson into a sack there that sets up a punt. So now we're into the 3rd quarter at the 2:07 mark, and they're at a 3rd and 6, I believe, or a 3rd and 5. And this play, they shouldn't, or well, initially they were actually had a first down, but they caught a ball, they got upfield, and what looked like a first down initially got challenged by Frank Reich and ended up being a 3rd and 1. So on 3rd and 1, they try to get us to jump off sides. They actually false start themselves, so they end up being 3rd and 6 here. So what looked like was going to be a touchdown drive now ends up being 3 points. That's big. That's a bend, don't break. That's a big thing Eberflus preaches. And right here it worked out for the best, because on 3rd and 5, what do? Well, they throw one out to the flat to the running back, and 3 Colts are already there ready to make this tackle. So now we're into the 4th quarter. This is a 3rd and 1. Now after this play, we're going to end up getting the stop here, but they're going to convert on 4th down. They're going to run a read option with Deshaun Watson. But still, this is a really good play. And I like seeing this because we have Muhammad here. He's going to do a good job of getting penetration, causing their running back to kind of have to cut this back here and then try to get upfield. But once their running back makes this cut, he's going to be met by Bobby Okereke, Darius Leonard, and DeForest Buckner, and gets stopped in his tracks, stopped on 3rd down. There's the penetration, and there's all 3 of our guys making a absolute solid hit on this running back, forcing him back to stop this on 3rd down. So now we're at the 1 minute mark in the 4th quarter on the 20-yard line. Watson's driving. He's doing a good job. He's hit people on the sideline, stopped the clock. He's done a good job this drive of clock management, stuff like that. He's been balancing it really well. Right here, 1st and 10 on the 20-yard line, what happens? DeForest Buckner makes another appointment for his 3rd sack on the day against Deshaun Watson in one of the biggest moments. You know, he's driving, he's looking to win this game, and all the air is going to be let out of this stadium once he makes this sack. It's an excellent job there. You see, Teray gets a little bit too far upfield trying to make this play. DeForest Buckner is going to do a good job of keeping containment and making the sack. One of the biggest moments of the game. So, once he gets that sack, the play I just showed you, Deshaun Watson actually gets another chance to win this game. Even though he gets that sack, it does put him in a kind of a bad situation, but they still find a way to somehow almost score. And I say almost because Darius Leonard comes up with the play of the year for the Colts. Easily the play of the year. I mean, just, when you think of big plays, game-winning plays, your best players making a play when it matters, this is right here. This is what it is. Great players make great plays. And right here, Darius Leonard's just going to see Caudill reach this ball for the goal line, and he's just going to smack this ball out at the last second. You don't see it there. But if I slow it down, you're going to see Leonard right here chase this ball, not give up, and extend his arm and knock this ball away right there. Causing the fumble, Kenny Moore is going to be reactive. He's going to get to the ball. And then everyone else who's chasing towards this ball as well is going to recover. And then a Colt right here. I think it's Justin Houston if I'm not mistaken. So really big play there from Leonard, man. That's something we needed desperately. This is just deja vu. It's twice now for the Texans. They're driving on us to end the game, and they fumble. Very unfortunate. That's what happens as a young player. You're getting greedy right there. Darius Leonard comes along and takes the game right out of your hands. So excellent job there from Leonard. Love seeing that. So now we're going to move on to where things kind of went wrong for the Colts. There's a lot of things I can throw in here, but I'm going to throw the biggest things, and that is whenever we lost containment of Deshaun Watson, he was chewing us. I mean, he was just eating us alive. He would slip around. He'd find someone for 26, for 30. It happened multiple times this game. And right here, like I said, once Houston loses containment of Watson, rolls out, finds a guy over the middle here, gets a really big gain out of it. So if you watched this game, you probably saw this play and you were probably wondering what happened. Well, right here, you're just going to see a post route from this receiver and a crossing route from this guy. And the reason it worked was because Blackman and Rhodes really weren't on the same page. This is just a blown coverage, really. And once he crosses the middle, Xzavier Rhodes stays with him. This guy's just wide open. Watson finds him, and he walks in for a 40-yard touchdown. Now, if we would have lost this game, we would have looked at that play and said, man, what if, But we won, so it's not as bad. But still yet, in close divisional games, you can't let things like this happen. So again, we lose containment of Watson, and he ends up getting a big 30-yard gain to his running back. Now, like I said, if you lose containment of Watson, he's like a Mahomes. He does better when he's on the run, when he's out of the pocket. David Johnson being, I'm pretty sure, the second highest rating catching running back in the league. So that's a pretty cool statistic. David Johnson had a horrible knee injury. He's came back. He's still really productive for the Texans, especially against us. Both games he had pretty good days. Right here, once Watson gets out of this pocket, he just gets one to David Johnson. David Johnson works his magic for a big 30-yard gain. So now we're going to do where things went wrong for our offense. I just showed you defense. We're going to do offense. And things like this has been happening all season. It's nothing we don't really know already. And the first one's going to be just Philip Rivers' mobility. When I talked about this, I got kind of crucified by a couple people in the comments. When I talk about his mobility, I'm not talking about the people were like, oh, what about Peyton Manning? His whole career, he did good without being fast. Stuff like that. Well, his footwork was really good. So was Tom Brady. Philip Rivers right now is easily the slowest starter in the league. Anyone will tell you that. He can't move in the pocket whatsoever. If he is not protected perfectly, he is a statue. He is going to get hit. Right here, as you can see, once his pocket collapses, he just kind of panics, and you can see, that little hop there. He knows he can't get away. A lot of quarterbacks in this instance right here, once they feel this pressure, they're going to move up. They're going to move up over here. They're going to get away. They're going to look to either throw this ball away or find somebody. Rivers, he can't do that. He can't move fast enough. He's just going to end up taking the sack, which is unfortunate, but still yet, it's Rivers. We'll take that trade-off with he has, great vision. He can read the field well versus being a slow player. So another clip here. This time it's just going to be a 3rd and 5. We almost had it. And Philip Rivers just barely puts it out of the reach of Burton. This is a super close one. He almost puts it where it needs to be, but Philip Rivers just barely overthrows him on a 3rd and 5. And we end up not driving. What could have been potential points just ends up being nothing. We punt the ball away. So now this is the last play I got for you guys, and then I'll talk about the game a little bit. Right here, we're going to see play action, and we're going to see Rivers have two options. One of the options is going to be Burton. He's going to run a little delay fade to right here, just kind of stop. Then he's going to fake the handoff to Taylor, and Taylor's going to roll out here into the flats. So he has two decisions here. Either throw to Taylor or he can throw to Burton. This guy breaks immediately on Taylor. So if Rivers would have just waited a split second, he had all kinds of time. He would have hit Burton. Burton would have got a big gain out of this. But instead he throws it to Taylor. And Taylor gets absolutely cleaned up. If I'm Taylor, I come back to the huddle a little angry about that, because if he just waits a second and throws to Burton, then we're good. He doesn't get hit like that, but he doesn't. He just kind of panics and throws it to Taylor. Really, when he wasn't under that much of pressure, instead of throwing it to Burton and getting what could have been a first down. But, at the end of the day, he still won. I'm kind of nitpicking at that point because offensively we did really well. It's just, there's just a couple instances on when our drive stalled out like there, and the other plays I showed you where they shouldn't have, and we should have kept the train should have kept rolling, but it didn't. But still yet, we won. Like I said, interdivisional matchup. They're always going to be play tight. That's just how the NFL works. Teams will always want to play spoiler to the people in their division. That's just how it goes, man. Everyone wants to do that. Whether Miami did it to the Patriots for years. They always wanted to be spoiler. But yeah, I'll talk about the game a little bit. Two things I got from this game. One, this Colts offense is really starting to come along. I know we haven't played the best of talent the last 3 weeks, but in that Raiders game and in both of these Texans games, our Colts have really shown a lot of moxie, man. They've showed a lot of that talent that we have. We knew we had potential. We knew we have a lot of potential on this offense, and it's starting to come to fruition. It's starting to get there. Really liking that. Really happy about where the offense is. And the second thing is Deshaun Watson's a beast, man. We can't keep underrating him. You know, when we play Deshaun Watson, we got to come in there with a game plan because that guy is going to chew us. It doesn't matter how good our defense is. It really don't matter how good any defense is. Deshaun Watson's going to find a way. That's just what he does, except for the Bears. But the Bears also have one of the most talented defenses in the league, just like us. They just had a better game plan, I guess. But yeah, that's all I got for you guys. If you like the content, drop a subscribe. The BTJ podcast is one of the best. It's about to be the #1 independent Colts podcast on YouTube.